New Mutants is the latest and last of the original 20th Century Fox kind of X-Men expanded universe. I thought it was okay, and that's about it. I thought it was just okay. It wasn't terrible, but nothing really drove it home for me. I thought the cast did an alright job. I kind of liked the setting. Kind of a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest superhero movie that's also a horror film. It was interesting. That being said, there were some plot holes. I won't get into spoilers, but there were some things that made me go, hey, that doesn't really make sense in the context of the world, or why is this character in charge of all this by herself? You know, it's kind of like details like that when you really think about them don't make a whole lot of sense. There's a lot of that going on. Some of the dialogue I found pretty cringy, but overall it was largely inoffensive. I thought that the action sequences were decent enough, though nothing overly impressive, and you're going to hear a lot of this kind of talk throughout the rest of this review. The movie was just okay. It never got so bad that I completely lost interest in it and decided that it wasn't worth my time, or it never crossed into so bad it's good territory. It never got absolute shit. It kind of just sat on the line of, hey, this isn't bad enough that we're going to lose your interest immediately, and it's just interesting enough that you can't say it's bad. You know, like it just rode that line, which in and of itself is a bad thing. I think one of the worst things a movie can be is bland, boring, and forgettable, and that's for the most part what this was. There were some things that definitely made me go, what the fuck? And I was genuinely interested in, like the Demon Bear, or this character. I completely forget her name, but I guess her X-Men power was like magic or something, and I have no idea what the rules to her were, but I was definitely interested in whatever the hell was going on here. And she is played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who you might recognize from The Witch. This movie was directed by Josh Boone, who also directed The Fault in Our Stars. I haven't seen that movie, but I kind of get like the vibe that he is the guy who makes those kind of movies, if that makes sense. Apparently this movie wasn't originally going to be a horror movie. When the trailer came out, everybody was like, oh, cool, a superhero horror film. And then Fox, 20th Century Fox went, yeah, a superhero horror film. We're going to delay it. It's coming out later. And then the movie went through re-edits. And I'd be curious to see what the original version of this film would have looked like before it was made to be more of a horror movie, because there's definitely like a lot of teen romance going on and dealing with, and the mutant powers could be like symbolic of puberty and change, I guess. And I'd be interested to see the Boone cut. I want to see the Josh cut of New Mutants, because I feel like it'd be a very different movie. Because all the things that you would expect from a Fault in Our Stars director making an X-Men movie are there. They're just not as focused on as you would expect, because it's been re-edited to be a horror film. And I guess that was maybe the one thing that really kept me interested, is I was waiting for more horror shit to happen. And you could tell kind of that maybe this movie was always intended to be like, this is a romantic superhero teen drama horror movie. And then in post they were like, never mind, this is a horror superhero film teen romantic movie. You know, like they kind of flipped the switch on it a bit there. And yeah, no, it was okay. Though I think the worst things that were in it were some cringy dialogue and a couple of plot holes that kind of took you out of the moment. And there were some pretty bad special effects at times, but overall the movie was just kind of par for the course. If you really like superhero movies, I think you would get some enjoyment out of this, especially if you're an X-Men fan. I think, and if you're a fan of the characters, like from the comic books, I think there's probably something in here for you to enjoy. If you're very kind of laissez-faire towards superhero movies, though, you're really only interested in kind of like the big deal ones, I would suggest skipping New Mutants. So yeah, New Mutants, I will give a 6 Demon Bears out of 10. Thanks for watching.